Match each cloud capability or benefit to its correct example. Each item may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Allows temporary deployment of extra resources during high traffic. Scalability. Lets users experiment with cloud services for free in a test environment. Sandbox environment avoids the need to guess future hardware needs. Consumption-based billing lets you stop paying for unused services. Consumption-based billing supports trial-based skill development and hands-on learning. Sandbox environment. Let me explain how each match works. Starting with scalability, this is the ability of cloud systems to automatically or manually expand resources to meet high demand. For instance, when a website gets a traffic spike, scalability ensures more servers can be deployed temporarily to keep performance stable. Next, sandbox environment appears twice. First, it allows users to test cloud services in a risk-free, isolated setup without affecting live systems. This is ideal for learning or development. Additionally, it supports trial-based skill development by providing a space for hands-on experimentation with real services. Now on to consumption-based billing, which also appears twice. It helps you avoid the need to predict how much hardware you'll require ahead of time because you're billed only for what you actually use. Similarly, if you're not using a resource, you can stop paying for it, making cloud services highly cost-efficient. CapEx model and data center blueprint were not used. That's because CapEx relates to traditional upfront spending, not cloud-specific models, and data center blueprint deals with physical infrastructure, not virtual capabilities. This question highlights how cloud benefits like scalability and pay-as-you-go billing create flexibility and cost control. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options in the drop-down menus. Public cloud is accessible to any paying customer, while private cloud is restricted to one organization and may be hosted on-site. Let's break this down and explain each choice. To begin with, a public cloud is a cloud model where services are provided by third-party providers over the internet and made available to the general public. Anyone who pays can use these resources. Think of platforms like Microsoft Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud, where multiple customers share the same infrastructure but have isolated data. On the other hand, a private cloud is used exclusively by a single organization. It offers greater control and customization and can be hosted either on-premises or by a third party. For example, a financial institution with strict compliance needs might opt for a private cloud to ensure higher security and governance. Although terms like community cloud, sovereign cloud, and edge cloud may sound similar, they refer to different models or architectural strategies. Community clouds serve specific groups with shared concerns, while edge cloud refers to where computation happens, not who accesses it. So in summary, public clouds are open to the masses, and private clouds are reserved for one. This distinction is foundational in cloud computing. Helen is preparing for an internal presentation and needs to explain what Azure is to business executives. She wants a reliable definition that includes the variety of services Azure offers. What's the best way to describe it? Select one answer. A security and identity platform for managing users. B, a hosting service for only web applications. C, a virtual networking and DNS system. D, a cloud platform with a growing set of services for building business solutions. The correct answer is D, a cloud platform with a growing set of services for building business solutions. Now let's explain why. Microsoft Azure goes far beyond a single-purpose tool. It's a complete cloud platform that provides a wide range of services, including computing, storage, networking, databases, AI, and analytics. Describing it this way helps business executives see that Azure is not limited to just identity, hosting, or networking. It's about building, deploying, and managing solutions at scale. Option A focuses too narrowly on identity services, which are just a small part of Azure. Option B suggests Azure is only for web hosting, which misses the broad capabilities of the platform. And while networking is important, as stated in option C, it's just one of many service areas. So again, the most complete and accurate description is, the correct answer is D, a cloud platform with a growing set of services for building business solutions. What two tools help estimate and plan cloud costs? Select two answers. A, total cost of ownership, TC calculator. B. Cloud container volume. C. Azure pricing calculator. D. Deployment pipeline visualizer. The correct answers are A. Total cost of ownership. C. Azure pricing calculator. Now, here's the explanation. First, the total cost of ownership calculator is a valuable tool that helps organizations compare the cost of running workloads in the cloud versus maintaining them on premises. It's especially useful for long-term budgeting and planning as organizations consider migrating to the cloud. Then we have the Azure pricing calculator, which enables users to estimate the expected cost of specific Azure services before deploying them. It gives a breakdown of pricing based on selected regions, configurations, and service levels. Meanwhile, cloud container volume refers to the storage capacity used by containers, but it doesn't offer any cost estimation capabilities. Similarly, the deployment pipeline visualizer is designed for managing CI/CD workflows and deployments, not for calculating or forecasting expenses. Your e-commerce application just launched a flash sale and experiences a sudden spike in traffic. You want the system to automatically adapt and prevent downtime or slow responses. What solution best meets this requirement? Select one answer. A. Use auto-scaling and load balancing. B. Install manual patches during the event. C. Move traffic to cold storage. D. Deploy code to a backup tape server. The correct answer is A. Use auto-scaling and load balancing. Now let's walk through why this is the best solution. During a flash sale or sudden spike in user demand, the system must be able to scale up automatically and distribute traffic efficiently. Auto-scaling allows cloud resources to increase dynamically based on usage, ensuring that performance doesn't drop. Meanwhile, load balancing distributes the traffic evenly across multiple servers, preventing overload on any single one. Option B, installing patches during the event, is risky and unrelated to real-time scaling. It could actually worsen performance instead of helping it. Option C, moving traffic to cold storage, doesn't make sense in this context. Cold storage is used for long-term archiving, not for managing high-demand user traffic. And option D, using a backup tape server, is outdated and not scalable. Tape storage is slow and intended for archival purposes, not live traffic handling. So in high-demand scenarios like a flash sale, the correct answer is A, use autoscaling and load balancing. Match each Microsoft Viva app to its primary function or description. Each item may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Provides personalized employee news and resources in Teams. Viva Connections powers company-wide social engagement and community conversations. Viva Engage centralizes communication campaigns with publishing and analytics. Viva Amplify offers data-driven insights on productivity and well-being. Viva Insights enables continuous employee feedback and predictive risk analysis. Viva Glint centralizes learning content and skill development. Viva Learning automatically organizes organizational knowledge with AI. Viva Topics. Let's walk through each match for clarity. First, Viva Connections delivers a personalized gateway into employee news, conversations, and resources within Microsoft Teams. It's essentially a digital dashboard for employees. Next, Viva Engage supports social collaboration across the organization. It integrates with Yammer to foster open dialogue and leadership engagement through community discussions. Viva Amplify is the tool designed for corporate communications, allowing centralized campaign creation, publishing, and performance tracking. Then we have Viva Insights, which provides data-driven insights to improve individual and organizational productivity and well-being. It emphasizes privacy while offering actionable recommendations. Viva Glint enables organizations to continuously gather employee feedback, monitor engagement trends, and analyze risk factors to promote a healthy workplace. Viva Learning brings training and development into the daily flow of work by surfacing courses and learning paths from LinkedIn Learning and other sources right within Teams. Finally, Viva Topics uses AI to automatically organize content, documents, and conversations into topic cards, connecting employees with knowledge and experts. The only unused option is Viva Pulse, which focuses on short, confidential feedback surveys, relevant but not needed in this scenario. Each app in the Viva suite plays a unique role in improving the employee experience and organizational knowledge flow. For each Microsoft 365 apps deployment method, drag the appropriate deployment method to the correct match column. Each item may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Centralized deployment through internal infrastructure and systems. Deploy with Configuration Manager. Installation that pulls setup files directly from Microsoft servers. Deploy from the cloud. Local installation initiated via admin-controlled tools and file shares. Deploy from a local source. End-user-driven installation from cloud-based access. Self-service install from Office Portal. Now let's explain each match in detail. First, deploy with Configuration Manager is ideal for centralized deployment. IT teams use local infrastructure to push Microsoft 365 apps to user devices, typically within larger organizations with managed environments. Next, deploy from the cloud refers to pulling setup files directly from Microsoft's content delivery network using the Office deployment tool and a configuration file. This method is popular for its simplicity and scalability. Then we have deploy from a local source, which means the setup files are stored on a local network share, giving administrators control over deployment timing and bandwidth usage. It still uses the Office deployment tool, but does not rely on internet bandwidth. Finally, self-service install from Office Portal is designed for end users. Employees can log into the Microsoft 365 portal and install Office apps themselves. It's efficient for decentralized teams and remote workers. The options manual installation from USB and group policy deployment were not used. USB installs are not officially supported in Microsoft 365 apps deployment strategy, and group policy is a configuration management tool, not a deployment method. This question clearly distinguishes between IT-led, admin-led, and user-led installation methods. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. Microsoft 365 usage reports help administrators track how often employees use Microsoft 365 apps, while Adoption Score provides insights into how well Microsoft 365 is adopted across the organization. Let's unpack what this means. Usage reports are specifically designed to show administrators how frequently employees are using various Microsoft 365 services like Outlook, Teams, and SharePoint. This helps IT and management understand the actual engagement and identify underused services. Meanwhile, the Adoption Score goes a step further. It helps organizations understand how effectively Microsoft 365 tools are being adopted by measuring not just usage, but also behaviors like collaboration habits and communication trends compared against Microsoft's best practices. In contrast, compliance reports are focused on security and regulatory compliance, not usage behavior. Likewise, endpoint reports focus on device health and security, not app adoption. So for tracking usage and adoption in Microsoft 365, the correct answers are usage reports and adoption score. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. Company Portal offers end users the ability to install apps and reset passwords, while the Intune Admin Center provides administrators with a web-based portal for managing devices and policies. Let's break this down. The Company Portal is designed for end users. It gives them self-service capabilities such as installing approved apps, checking device compliance, and resetting passwords, reducing the load on IT support teams and empowering employees to solve simple issues on their own. On the other hand, the Intune Admin Center is where administrators go to configure and manage devices, enforce policies, monitor compliance, and carry out remote actions. It's the centralized dashboard for IT teams to manage enterprise mobility. Options like Windows Autopilot, Tenant Attach, and Endpoint Analytics do play roles in device lifecycle management, but they don't serve as user-facing or admin-facing portals in the same sense. So for user empowerment and centralized device administration, the correct answers are Company Portal and Intune Admin Center. For each statement below, indicate whether the answer is true or false. Deployment rings help IT admins stage the rollout of updates. True. Subscription activation changes the addition of Windows via licensing. True. Windows Insider program is designed for wide-scale, stable deployment. False. Provisioning packages contain configurations and settings for devices. Let's explain each one. First, deployment rings are indeed used by IT admins to phase update rollouts. They group devices into stages so updates can be tested gradually, reducing risk and ensuring stability before reaching all users. Next, subscription activation allows a device's Windows edition to be upgraded, like from Pro to Enterprise, based on an active Microsoft 365 license without requiring reinstallation. The statement about the Windows Insider program is false because this program provides pre-release builds of Windows. These builds are meant for testing and feedback, not for stable organization-wide deployment. Lastly, provisioning packages are used to quickly configure new or existing Windows devices with specific settings, apps, and configurations, often during initial setup. For each statement below, indicate whether the answer is true or false. Office 2024 is a subscription-based productivity platform. False. Office 365 and Microsoft 365 both include OneDrive and Outlook. True. Microsoft 365 includes tools for endpoint management like Microsoft Intune. True. Enterprise Mobility Security is exclusive to Office 365 subscriptions. False. Let's walk through the details. Office 2024 is a traditional one-time purchase, meaning you pay once and install it locally. It's not part of the cloud-based, subscription-driven Microsoft 365 ecosystem, so the first statement is false. Next, both Office 365 and Microsoft 365 include cloud-based tools such as OneDrive and Outlook, which are standard across both service tiers. That makes the second statement true. For the third statement, Microsoft 365 includes advanced IT tools like Microsoft Intune, which supports device and endpoint management across the organization. So yes, that one is also true. Finally, Enterprise Mobility Security, EMS, is not exclusive to Office 365. It's part of Microsoft 365. Office 365 focuses more on productivity apps, while EMS is included in broader Microsoft 365 packages. Hence, the last statement is false. A marketing manager wants to design polished slide decks and reports while collaborating with teammates in real time from different locations. Select one answer. A. Use PowerPoint and OneDrive in Microsoft 365. B. Use Excel and Microsoft Forms. C. Use Microsoft Bookings and To-Do. D. Use Microsoft Project and Access. The correct answer is A. Use PowerPoint and OneDrive in Microsoft 365. Here's why this is the best choice. PowerPoint is the go-to tool for creating professional presentations, which suits the manager's need to design polished slide decks. Pairing it with OneDrive, Microsoft's cloud storage solution, enables real-time collaboration. Teammates can work on the same document from anywhere with internet access. Excel and Microsoft Forms are great for gathering and analyzing data, but don't support content-rich document creation or collaborative editing of presentations. Microsoft Bookings and To-Do help manage appointments and tasks, but offer no tools for creating or editing slides or reports. Microsoft Project and Access are focused on project planning and databases, making them unsuitable for presentation design or document sharing. So when the goal is creative design plus real-time teamwork, the correct answer is A. Use PowerPoint and OneDrive in Microsoft 365. Arrange the Windows deployment methods from least to most IT involvement. Instruction: drag and drop the items into the correct order, starting with the method requiring the least IT effort at the top. 1. Windows Autopilot. 2. In-place upgrade. 3. Provisioning package configuration. 4. New computer deployment. Let's explain why this is the correct order. Windows Autopilot requires the least IT involvement. It allows users to set up their devices right out of the box with minimal assistance, using cloud-based profiles and policies defined in advance. In-place upgrade is the next level of effort. It automates the process of upgrading an existing Windows installation to a newer version, preserving files and settings, but still requires oversight and compatibility checks. Provisioning package configuration involves creating and applying custom packages to configure a device with apps, policies, and settings. It's more hands-on and typically used when customizing bulk deployments. Finally, new computer deployment demands the most IT work. It usually means a clean installation of the operating system, followed by manual or semi-automated setup of drivers, software, and user environments. This ordering reflects how automated and user-friendly each method is, starting with the least and ending with the most IT-intensive. An education institution needs collaboration tools for students and teachers, cloud-based file storage, and access to Microsoft Office apps through the web. They also have budget constraints. Which Microsoft 365 option best meets these needs? Select one answer. A. Microsoft 365 for Business. B. Microsoft 365 Copilot. C. Microsoft 365 for Education. D. Microsoft Entra ID. The correct answer is C. Microsoft 365 for Education. Here's why this is the ideal choice. Microsoft 365 for Education is specifically tailored for schools, colleges, and universities. It includes tools like Teams for virtual classrooms, OneDrive for cloud storage, and online versions of Office apps, making it perfect for collaborative remote learning and teaching. Plus, it's often available at a lower cost or even free for qualified institutions, helping meet budget constraints. Microsoft 365 for Business is geared toward commercial environments and doesn't address the unique needs of educational workflows or pricing. Microsoft 365 Copilot is an AI-powered add-on feature, not a complete plan for education. It enhances productivity but doesn't serve as a standalone solution. Microsoft Entra ID focuses on identity and access management. It's important for user security, but it's not a productivity suite. So, for collaboration, cloud tools, and affordability in education, the correct answer is C, Microsoft 365 for Education. What does the Zero Trust security model emphasize? Select three answers. A. Assume breach. B. Use least privilege access. C. Verify explicitly. D. Trust internal network. The correct answers are A. Assume breach. B. Use least privilege access. C. Verify explicitly. Let's break this down. Assume breach is a foundational principle in Zero Trust. It means that organizations should always operate with the mindset that a breach has already occurred or could occur at any time. This ensures that systems are built with containment and response in mind. Use least privilege access limits users to only the permissions they absolutely need. This minimizes the risk of insider threats or attackers gaining broad access if a user account is compromised. Verify explicitly means that every access request, whether from inside or outside the network, must be authenticated, authorized, and encrypted. This eliminates the idea of implicit trust, even within the corporate perimeter. On the other hand, trust internal network goes against Zero Trust principles. Zero Trust assumes no network, internal or external, should be inherently trusted. Which two Microsoft 365 tools support structured task tracking and scheduling? A. Paint. B. Access. C. Microsoft Lists. D. Planner. The correct answers are C. Microsoft Lists. D. Planner. Let's take a closer look. Planner is designed for team-based task assignments and progress tracking. It provides a visual interface with boards, buckets, and due dates, making collaboration straightforward. Microsoft Lists helps you organize structured data and custom views. It's ideal for tracking tasks, issues, or project details using customizable templates and rules. Meanwhile, Paint is simply a drawing tool and not part of the Microsoft 365 productivity stack. Access is a powerful database solution, but isn't tailored for managing or scheduling tasks. Together, Microsoft Lists and Planner provide the structure and flexibility needed for effective task and schedule management in Microsoft 365. Your HR team wants to provide a centralized hub where employees can access training and skill-building content from various providers integrated directly into Teams. Which Viva app should you recommend? Select one answer. A. Viva Topics. B. Viva Learning. C. Viva Connections. D. Viva Glint. The correct answer is, here's why this is the right choice. Viva Learning is designed specifically to bring learning directly into the flow of work. It centralizes training content from different providers, enables managers to assign courses, and tracks completion, all within Microsoft Teams. This makes it ideal for upskilling and reskilling initiatives led by HR. Viva Topics uses AI to organize knowledge into topic cards, but it's not built for training delivery. Viva Connections focuses on internal communications like news, resources, and announcements. Viva Glint supports employee engagement through surveys and feedback analytics, not learning. For learning management integrated into Teams, the correct answer is B, Viva Learning. Match each feature or concept with the part of conditional access it belongs to. Each item may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Sign-in risk. Assignments, multi-factor authentication, access controls, global secure access, assignments. Session restrictions like blocking download, access controls, authentication context, e.g., extra control in SharePoint. Assignments. Enforcing device compliance policy. Access controls. Let's walk through why each of these matches is correct. Assignments. Determine which users or devices conditional access policies apply to. That includes contextual factors like sign-in risk, authentication context, and newer services like global secure access. These elements define the who and under what condition part of a policy. Access controls come into play after assignments. They define what happens once the user or device meets the policy conditions. Controls like multi-factor authentication, session restrictions, and device compliance enforcement fall into this category. They regulate post-authentication behavior and access. Unused options like Cloud App Security Center refer to broader monitoring and analytics across Microsoft services, but aren't part of the conditional access framework itself. Similarly, user settings is a general category and doesn't map directly to conditional access structure. So based on Microsoft's Zero Trust architecture and conditional access policy framework, the correct matches are assignments for risk and context signals, access controls for actions like MFA, session control, and compliance enforcement. For each Cloud Access Security Broker CASB capability, drag it to the correct description. Each item may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Discovers unsanctioned apps accessed across the organization. Cloud App Discovery protects users against threats coming from connected SaaS apps. Threat Protection provides visibility into sensitive content stored in SaaS platforms. Information Protection applies compliance and DLP policies to documents in the cloud. Compliance and DLP controls acts as a gateway between users and cloud resources. CSB Gatekeeper function. Let's walk through why each one is matched correctly. Cloud App Discovery helps identify shadow IT by detecting unsanctioned cloud apps used across the network. It monitors traffic and provides visibility into app usage. Threat Protection focuses on safeguarding users from malware and attacks originating from or targeting SaaS platforms. It's essential for identifying risky behavior and stopping threats early. Information Protection enables organizations to see where sensitive data lives in cloud services like OneDrive or SharePoint. This is crucial for maintaining control over corporate data. Compliance and DLP controls allow you to apply governance rules. These ensure documents in the cloud meet regulatory standards by classifying data and enforcing restrictions such as blocking downloads or external sharing. CASB Gatekeeper function serves as a broker between users and cloud services. It applies real-time session controls, enabling secure access based on policy conditions. Unused options like API Explorer and Exchange Online Archiving are not part of core CASB functions. API Explorer is tied to automation in Defender for endpoint, and Exchange Archiving focuses on email retention, not cloud access governance. So these matches capture the essential roles that make CASB a powerful part of any modern cloud security strategy. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. Audit logging for Microsoft Security Copilot is enabled by default for Microsoft 365 organizations and stores audit data in the same region where the tenant's Microsoft 365 data is stored. Let's explain the reasoning. Enabled is correct because audit logging is automatically turned on for organizations using Microsoft Security Copilot, ensuring that activity data is collected without requiring manual configuration. Region is also correct because Microsoft aligns audit data storage with the same geographic region where the rest of the tenant's Microsoft 365 data resides. This ensures compliance with data residency and sovereignty requirements. Other options like disabled or optional don't apply here since logging is active by default, and choices like country, continent, or worldwide don't reflect the precise geographic alignment required for Microsoft 365 data. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. Cloud Discovery identifies unsanctioned SaaS apps, while App Catalog Risk Assessment evaluates them against over 90 risk indicators. Let's explain how these tools work together. Cloud Discovery monitors network traffic to detect which cloud applications are being accessed within an organization, even if they're not officially sanctioned. This helps uncover shadow IT, apps used without IT's approval. App Catalog Risk Assessment takes those discovered apps and evaluates them using a set of predefined criteria. These include factors like compliance certifications, data handling practices, and threat history, measured against over 90 risk indicators. Other terms like activity log, CM connector, or defender for endpoint don't fit here. They serve different purposes, such as tracking user actions, alerting security platforms, or protecting endpoints, not identifying or assessing SaaS risk. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. Privacy risk management policies help identify issues like data overexposure, data transfers, and data minimization within Microsoft 365 environments. Let's now explain. Privacy risk management enables organizations to detect potential privacy issues through automated policies. These policies actively scan Microsoft 365 environments to uncover situations where personal data might be at risk. For instance, data overexposure occurs when sensitive information is shared with too many users, which can happen unintentionally through broad access permissions. Furthermore, data transfers refer to moving sensitive data across regions or departments, which may introduce compliance risks, especially with international data protection regulations. Additionally, data minimization ensures that outdated or unnecessary personal data is identified and removed, helping maintain compliance and reduce storage risks. Altogether, these capabilities empower organizations to handle privacy proactively, not just reactively. For each statement below, indicate whether the answer is true or false. The Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal will be retired by the end of 2024, with eDiscovery functionality moving fully to the Microsoft Purview portal. True. Users must have appropriate permissions to access eDiscovery tools in Microsoft Purview. True review sets provide dynamic content that automatically updates as data changes in source locations. False Copilot integration with eDiscovery can provide contextual summaries to save reviewers time. True. Let's go ahead and explain. The first statement is true because Microsoft has officially announced that the separate Purview compliance portal will be retired by the end of 2024. All eDiscovery capabilities will be managed directly within the unified Microsoft Purview interface moving forward. Next, role-based access control is a core security principle in Microsoft 365. That means only users with specific permissions, like eDiscovery Manager, can access or perform searches within eDiscovery tools. That's why the second statement is also true. Now, the third statement is false. Review sets in eDiscovery are not dynamic. They are static snapshots of data taken at the moment they're created. Once documents are added, they don't automatically update when the original source changes. Finally, the fourth statement is true. Microsoft Copilot enhances eDiscovery by summarizing evidence in context, helping legal teams or compliance officers quickly understand the content without reading every document line by line. This dramatically improves review efficiency. For each statement below, indicate whether it is true or false. Microsoft's transparency principle includes requiring subprocessors to be independently audited. True. The control principle ensures that Microsoft decides when a user's data should be deleted. False. Microsoft offers tools that allow customers to monitor who has access to their encrypted secrets. True. Microsoft notifies customers of changes to the online services subprocessor list. True. Now let's break it down. Microsoft's transparency principle supports openness by ensuring that subprocessors meet privacy and security standards, including independent audits. Under the control principle, it's actually the customer, not Microsoft, who controls their data, including deletion rights. When it comes to monitoring access, tools like Azure Key Vault give customers visibility and control over who can access their encrypted secrets. Lastly, Microsoft maintains transparency by notifying customers of any changes to its online services subprocessor list. For each statement below, indicate whether it is true or false. Privacy risk management offers automated deletion of items as the only remediation step. False tracker scanning evaluates websites for embedded technologies like cookies or beacons. True. The classic Microsoft Purview portal supports all current Priva solutions, including those in preview. False. Priva helps organizations establish a privacy by default approach. True. Let's now go through the reasoning behind these answers. The first statement is false because automated deletion isn't the only remediation action offered by privacy risk management. Organizations can also notify users or tag data for further review, giving flexibility in how privacy risks are handled. The second statement is true. Tracker scanning is a feature designed to detect embedded web technologies such as cookies, scripts, and beacons across websites, which helps organizations manage tracking risks. The third statement is false. The classic Microsoft Purview portal does not support all Priva features, especially those in preview. Capabilities like consent management and privacy assessments are exclusive to the new Priva portal. The final statement is true. A core mission of Microsoft Priva is to help organizations adopt a privacy by default mindset, automating and embedding privacy protections early in data handling processes. Which two roles are considered Microsoft Entra built-in roles? Select two answers. A. Application contributor. B. User administrator. C. Global administrator. D. Custom act answers are B. User administrator and C. Global administrator. Let's explain why. User administrator is a predefined Microsoft Entra role that allows administrators to manage user accounts and groups. It's one of the most commonly assigned roles for user lifecycle operations. Global administrator, on the other hand, is the highest level built-in role. It grants full access to all administrative features across Microsoft Entra and Microsoft 365 services. Now, application contributor is part of Azure's role-based access control system, not Microsoft Entra. It's used for managing resources in Azure, not for identity and access management in Entra. Custom app owner is not a real built-in role. It sounds like a label someone might use, but it's not part of the predefined roles provided by Microsoft Entra. The correct answers are B, user administrator, and C, global administrator. A security team uses Microsoft Defender XDR to protect SaaS apps, block risky sessions, and apply data protection to sensitive cloud collaboration activities. Which Defender component is most appropriate for this scenario? Select one answer. A. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. B. Microsoft Defender for Office 365. C. Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. D. Microsoft Defender for Identity. The correct answer is C. Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. Let's explain why. Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps is purpose-built for monitoring and securing SaaS applications. It helps enforce policies, blocks risky user behavior in real time, and integrates with conditional access to provide granular protection over cloud-based collaboration. Now, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint is excellent for device-level protection but doesn't secure SaaS apps. Similarly, Defender for Office 365 is focused on email security, such as phishing and malicious attachments. Lastly, Defender for Identity detects identity-based threats like credential theft or lateral movement within Active Directory, not cloud collaboration risks. So when it comes to SaaS app protection and sensitive cloud activity, the best fit is Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. How does Compliance Manager help organizations stay current with evolving regulations and certifications? A. By requiring manual updates from compliance teams. B. By exporting compliance data to external tools for analysis. C. By providing continuously updated pre-built assessments and control mappings. D. By integrating only with Microsoft Security Copilot. The correct answer is C. By providing continuously updated pre-built assessments and control mappings. Let's break this down. Compliance Manager supports organizations by offering built-in templates that are automatically updated as regulations change. This ensures that businesses are always aligned with the latest standards without needing to track changes manually. On the other hand, relying on manual updates from compliance teams increases risk and workload. Exporting data might help with analysis, but doesn't guarantee current compliance. Integrating with Microsoft Security Copilot provides valuable insights, yet it's not the main tool for regulatory updates. That's why the best choice is the option that reflects automation and real-time alignment. Compliance Manager's continuously updated pre-built assessments. Which capability is designed specifically to identify known attacker tools, techniques, and procedures in behavioral data? Select one answer. A. Next generation protection. B. Secure score. C. API Explorer. D. Threat intelligence. The correct answer is D. Threat intelligence. Let me explain why. Threat intelligence works by correlating behavioral data from endpoint sensors with known TTPs. That's tactics, techniques, and procedures used by attackers. It enables security teams to detect patterns consistent with specific threat actors or attack campaigns. In contrast, next-generation protection focuses on stopping threats like malware or exploits in real time, but it doesn't label them with the attack methods used. Similarly, Secure Score is a security posture measurement tool. It evaluates your current configurations and provides recommendations, but doesn't analyze attacker behavior. An API Explorer is mainly used for automating tasks and running queries. It's not involved in behavioral threat detection. So, when it comes to identifying attacker techniques and data, threat intelligence is the capability built for that task. What does the highest exposure section of the Threat Analytics dashboard measure? Select one answer. A. Total number of malware variants in your region. B. Severity of vulnerabilities and number of impacted devices. C. Daily incident volume across Microsoft 365. D. User authentication failures by location. The correct answer is B. Severity of vulnerabilities and number of impacted devices. Now let's break down why this is correct. The highest exposure section in Threat Analytics is designed to help security teams prioritize their response. It identifies threats with the greatest potential impact by showing both how severe a vulnerability is and how many devices in your organization are affected. This dual metric helps in focusing efforts on the most urgent issues first. By contrast, the total number of malware variants in your region might be an interesting statistic, but it doesn't measure exposure in your environment. Daily incident volume is tracked by tools like Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, not in the Threat Analytics exposure panel. And user authentication failures by location are part of identity security, typically handled in Microsoft Entra, not Threat Analytics. So in summary, if you want to understand where your greatest threat exposure lies, look for severity and scope, exactly what the highest exposure section delivers. Which Priva solution helps automate and manage requests from individuals about their personal data? Select one answer. A. Privacy risk management. B. Consent management. C. Subject rights requests. D. Privacy assessments. The correct answer is C. Subject rights request. Now let's walk through the explanation. Subject rights requests is the dedicated solution in Microsoft Priva that automates the handling of requests from individuals who want to access, delete, or manage their personal data. It simplifies compliance with privacy regulations like GDPR by guiding organizations through the fulfillment process. On the other hand, privacy risk management is focused on identifying and mitigating data exposure and transfer risks, not managing user requests. Similarly, consent management helps with recording and honoring user consent preferences, but doesn't deal with processing data access or deletion requests. Finally, privacy assessments are geared toward auditing and understanding how data is being used, not responding to individual data rights. So when the task is about responding to people who want to manage their personal information, subject rights requests is the right tool. Which two Microsoft Entra services should be used to replace legacy VPN for secure access to internal applications? Select two answers. A. Use Microsoft Entra Private Access to protect internal applications. B. Deploy Microsoft Entra Internet Access to protect internal services. C. Create a quick access application for internal resource segmentation. D. Enable Global Secure Access Snapshot Widget to detect unhealthy tokens. E. Configure Microsoft Tunnel to maintain VPN compatibility. The correct answers are A. Use Microsoft Entra Private Access to protect internal applications. C. Create a quick access application for internal resource segmentation. Now let's break down the explanation. Microsoft Entra Private Access is a zero-trust-based solution that enables secure access to internal apps from any location, eliminating the need for traditional VPNs. This is especially important when trying to limit lateral movement across the corporate network. Additionally, creating a quick access application helps with internal resource segmentation, allowing organizations to tailor access permissions for sensitive internal apps. Although this may not be a standard named feature in Entra, It represents the concept of implementing fine-grained access policies. Conversely, intra-internet access is meant for managing outbound internet connections, not internal resources. The Global Secure Access Snapshot widget is only a reporting tool and does not enforce access. And Microsoft Tunnel is a separate solution within Microsoft Intune, not a native Entra capability, and still relies on VPN architecture, which we're trying to move away from. So for reducing VPN dependency and enhancing internal app access securely, the best choices are Entra Private Access and Quick Access Segmentation. Your threat intel team wants to focus on threats that have the most devices exposed in your environment and that are linked to severe vulnerabilities. Where should they look in the Microsoft Defender Threat Intelligence dashboard? A. High-impact threats. B. Intel profiles. C. Highest exposure. D. Latest threats. The correct answer is C. Highest exposure. Now let's explain. The highest exposure section helps identify which threats pose the greatest risk based on both CVE severity and how many devices are affected within your environment. That's exactly what the team is looking for. On the other hand, high-impact threats focuses more on alert volume than on exposure metrics. Intel profiles provide background information on tools or actors, but don't give you real-time risk scores. Lastly, latest threats simply shows newly discovered threats, not necessarily the ones putting your devices at highest risk. So if your goal is to prioritize by actual exposure risk, highest exposure is the right place to look. What are the benefits of using the Microsoft Enterprise Agreement, EA? Select two answers. A, provides 24/7 technical support and end-user training. B, enables monthly pay-as-you-go subscription flexibility. C, requires a minimum 3-year commitment. D, offers a free trial period for Microsoft 365 subscriptions. The correct answers are A, provides 24/7 technical support and end-user training. C, requires a minimum 3-year commitment. Let's explain. The Microsoft Enterprise Agreement is built for long-term licensing, so it requires a minimum 3-year commitment. It also includes software assurance, which gives organizations access to continuous 24/7 technical support and end-user training resources. However, the flexibility to pay monthly as you go is actually a feature of the Cloud Solution Provider (CSP) model, not the EA. Additionally, free trials for Microsoft 365 are offered independently and are not included as part of the Enterprise Agreement. So when thinking about EA benefits, focus on long-term value and comprehensive support. Match each billing account type to its correct description. Created when signing up directly for a Microsoft 365 subscription. Online services program. Created when purchasing software and services through an MPSA volume licensing agreement. Products and Services Agreement, MPSA. Created when working with a Microsoft representative or authorized partner. Customer Agreement. Let's break it down. Online Services Program is automatically created when a user signs up directly online for Microsoft 365 subscriptions without going through a partner or Microsoft rep. Products and Services Agreement, MPSA, applies when an organization uses Microsoft's volume licensing program to purchase services and software in bulk. Customer Agreement is set up when working with a Microsoft representative or partner, allowing businesses to buy products and services independently with direct engagement. As for the unused items, Enterprise Agreement and Cloud Solution Provider were not the right billing account types for these scenarios. For each statement below, indicate whether the answer is true or false. Windows 365 provides personalized cloud PCs dedicated to single users. True Azure VirtualTop supports multi-session Windows client deployments. True Azure Virtual Desktop charges a fixed monthly cost per user. False. Windows 365 requires customers to manage Azure infrastructure and storage. False. Now let's explain. Windows 365 is designed to give each user their own personalized cloud PC. This means the desktop is consistent and persistent across sessions, just like a traditional PC. On the other hand, Azure Virtual Desktop supports multi-session Windows client deployments, allowing multiple users to share a single virtual machine, which helps optimize costs and resources. However, Azure Virtual Desktop does not charge a fixed monthly rate. Instead, it uses a consumption-based pricing model, so customers pay based on what they use, including compute and storage resources. Finally, with Windows 365, Microsoft takes care of the underlying Azure infrastructure and storage. Customers don't need to manage it themselves, they just provision and assign cloud PCs. A manager needs help organizing unstructured brainstorming notes into categories and converting them into an action plan. Which tool should they use? A. Use Copilot in OneNote. B. Use Power Automate with Excel. C. Use Forms with Outlook. D. Use Teams and Microsoft Lists. The correct answer is A. Use Copilot in OneNote. Let's walk through this. Copilot in OneNote is specifically designed to handle raw, unstructured notes by summarizing and categorizing them into actionable plans or structured lists. This makes it ideal for transforming brainstorming sessions into practical steps. Conversely, Power Automate with Excel is helpful for automating repetitive workflows, but not for processing unstructured text into categories. Similarly, Forms with Outlook is mainly used for surveys and event planning, not note organization. Finally, Teams with Microsoft Lists supports collaboration and task tracking, but doesn't specialize in text summarization. So, Copilot in OneNote stands out as the most effective tool for the scenario. A university IT department needs identity security and user access management for faculty and students logging into different services. They also want endpoint management for tablets and Windows laptops. Which Microsoft solution best meets these requirements? A. Microsoft 365. B. Microsoft Loop. C. Office 2024. D. Microsoft Exchange Online. The correct answer is A. Microsoft 365. Now let's explain why. Microsoft 365 provides a comprehensive solution that includes Microsoft Entra ID for managing user identities and access permissions across services. Additionally, it includes Microsoft Intune, which supports device management for tablets, laptops, and other endpoints, making it ideal for educational institutions. In contrast, Microsoft Loop is designed for real-time collaboration, but it lacks the necessary identity and device management tools. Office 2024 is a standalone suite without cloud capabilities, security, or management features. Lastly, Microsoft Exchange Online only handles email and calendars, not full security and access management. Hence, Microsoft 365 is the most complete and appropriate option. What does Copilot and Outlook help users do more efficiently? A. Record voice messages. B. Summarize long email threads. C. Draft professional responses. D. Create spreadsheets. The correct answers are B. Summarize long email threads, and C. Draft professional responses. Now let's break this down. Copilot in Outlook is designed to streamline email management. First, it can summarize long email threads, allowing users to quickly understand the essence of a conversation without reading every single message. This is particularly useful when catching up after being away or when working with complex team discussions. Second, it can draft professional responses using context from the thread, helping users reply faster with accurate and polished messages. On the other hand, recording voice messages is not a function of Copilot in Outlook, and creating spreadsheets is a task handled in Excel, not Outlook. So for boosting productivity in Outlook, summarizing and drafting are key Copilot advantages. Which deployment ring is primarily responsible for validating updates on representative devices before broad deployment? A. Preview ring. B. Limited ring. C. Broad ring. D. Windows Insider program. The correct answer is B. Limited ring. Let's break this down. The limited ring is used to test updates on a small representative group of devices before releasing them more broadly. This validation phase helps catch any issues in a controlled environment. In contrast, the preview ring is more about evaluating new features early, often before they're production ready. The broad ring comes after successful testing and is where updates are deployed widely across the organization. Finally, the Windows Insider program is a public preview channel used by enthusiasts and developers to test future Windows builds, not an enterprise deployment strategy. So when you need to validate stability before scaling up, the limited ring is the go-to option.